Hi everyone, this is Karen from the Historical Society of Montgomery County, Pennsylvania. It's November in the year 2020, so I figured now might be a good time to look at some of the history of the original inhabitants of what is now known as Montgomery County, Pennsylvania. So the Lenape Nation, or known as the Delaware by the English settlers who came in the 1600s, Lenape means roughly men of men or original man or men in the Lenape language. They are often referred to as the grandfathers or the ancient ones by other Native American tribes because it's believed that they were one of the original tribes in this area, and they actually had descendants who founded other tribes, particularly in the Northeast. So the Lenape have been estimated to be living in southeastern Pennsylvania, Delaware, New Jersey, and southern New York for roughly about 10,000 years prior to the arrival of the Europeans in the 1600s. And they were actually known to be the first Native American tribe to sign a treaty with the United States when it was founded in 1776. This interaction you have between the Europeans and the Lenape Nation was in 1609 when the Dutch actually landed in the Delaware Bay area. And in 1681 was when you had William Penn come onto the scene, where he had asked King Charles II of England for land, which then became known as Pennsylvania, or Pennswood. William Penn founded Pennsylvania and started beginning a colonial government in the area. He actually sends his cousin William Markham to help negotiate with the Lenape and purchase lands from them. It's estimated over 8,000 acres of land in southeastern PA was purchased from the Lenape at this time. It's believed that in this original land given to William Penn and the settlers, it allowed for the settlers to live on the land along with the Lenape. It allowed them to farm and live peacefully within the boundaries of southeastern PA, including Montgomery County. However, unfortunately, not too surprisingly, as is quite common throughout American history, the settlers did start to take advantage of the Lenape, and William Penn, his sons took over his dealings in Pennsylvania, and they decided they wanted to have additional land in what then was the frontier of Pennsylvania. And they wanted to redefine the boundaries because, as with most of the original treaties with the Lenape and other Native American tribes, the boundaries were not as defined as the Europeans normally would say, and it was more a matter of the distance you could walk was a common form of defining boundaries within the Lenape culture. So to obtain additional land out in the frontier of Pennsylvania, William Penn's sons, they actually hired professional runners to redefine the boundaries with the Lenape. So the Lenape used to define their treaties by walking. So if they said, okay, you can have the land from 2 days' walk, was what the treaty had written. And the sons of William Penn hired these runners to walk 2 days worth and redefined how much land the white settlers could have. Naturally, being runners, they covered twice as much land as the Lenape expected them to because they were not really walking. So, this was in 1737, and it took a lot of land away from the Lenape. The Lenape lost roughly twice as much land as they were expecting to by the European settlers, and it's estimated that they lost land roughly the size of Rhode Island in this 1737 walking purchase. Naturally, this caused a lot of tension and violence between the Lenape and the European settlers. Ultimately, a lot of the Lenape were easily removed, and many of them did leave the area, either heading northwards or west, and they joined other tribes. However, what is lesser known to many people in our area is a number of the Lenape actually did choose to stay in the area, and they tried to adapt to European lifestyle, becoming farmers, tradesmen, etc. And unfortunately, not too surprisingly, they would often have to hide their Native American culture because they would often be persecuted for being Native American. So the Lenape have left, not too surprisingly, a impact on what is now Montgomery County. A lot of places are actually derived from Lenape words. For example, you've got Conshohocken, Towamencin, Pennypack, Skipback. All of those words are derived from other words in Lenape language. Unfortunately, I do not know how to pronounce the Lenape words. I will provide a link to what looks like a fairly reliable Lenape online dictionary for those of you who do want to look at how to pronounce them. And in addition to places being named after or derived from words in the Lenape language, you do still have people in the area who are of Lenape descent and are part of the tribe. Now, unfortunately, the state of Pennsylvania is one of 13 United States that do not have any recognition of a local tribe within that state. So the Lenape, unfortunately, although they are a Native American tribe, they are not federally recognized, which means they are considered they're a nonprofit, and whenever they sell jewelry or anything like that, they are not permitted to label it as being an official Native American created craft because they have not been federally recognized. It also prevents them from having objects and items repatriated to them. So let's say somebody had a sacred object that belonged to the Lenape tribe. The Lenape would not legally be permitted to say, hey, you're not supposed to have that because you're not a member of the tribe, and that's considered a sacred artifact. You who want to learn more about the Lenape culture, I will provide some links in the description below for you to investigate on your own. There's also plenty of books and websites talking about their history. I would also encourage you to investigate the Fulfilling the Prophecy exhibit that was done in 2010 at the Penn Museum. It was done in collaboration with the Lenape tribe. Again, I will give those links down in the details section below this so you can investigate on your own. There's also the Cultural Center in Easton, Pennsylvania, run by the Lenape Nation. So if you, hopefully once this whole COVID pandemic's over, I would encourage you to definitely go check that out if you want to learn more about the Lenape and their culture.